K-pop news channel. Thank you for tuning in tonight onto our special report. Tonight we'll dive deep and take a closer look at the troubled and difficult living conditions of refugees around the world. As conflict and dispute occurs, natural disasters spread havoc. Millions of individuals are forced to leave their homes in search of finding stability and safety.
From war-torn regions to areas devastated by climate change, the global refugee crisis continues to unfold, leaving behind stories of resilience, struggle, and hope.
Imagine being forced to leave everything you know behind, including your family, your belongings, and your town. Due to violence, persecution, or conflict, millions of individuals worldwide are compelled to seek asylum in other nations, many encountering unspeakable adversities in the process. People who have been compelled to leave their homes because of persecution, conflict, or breaches of human rights are known as refugees. They are individuals with ambitions, dreams, and aspirations, not simply data or figures. They are common individuals caught in unusual situations: mothers, dads, kids, and grandparents. The reasons behind relocation are manifold and intricate, ranging from political instability and military conflict to persecution of certain ethnic or religious groups, abuse of human rights, natural calamities, and financial difficulties. Millions of people are uprooted from their homes in search of safety and security elsewhere, regardless of the cost. Refugees are proof of the resiliency and fortitude of the human spirit. They are neither a weight to be carried or an issue to be resolved.
According to Article 1 of the 1951 United Nations Convention of the Status of Refugee, a refugee is a person who, because of his or her race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion, is outside the territory of his or her country of origin and is unwilling or unable to return to his or her country of origin or is protected by that country. At the end of 2020, 89.3 million people worldwide has been forcibly displaced as a result of persecution, conflict, violence, human rights violation, or incidents that seriously disturb public order of these 27.1 million of refugees. Malaysia is one of the largest hosts of refugees in Southeast Asia with 178,000 registered refugees and asylum seekers at the end of 2020, the vast majority of whom are Rohingya from Myanmar. Malaysia's attitude and policy towards refugees are influenced by many factors, among which politics, culture, and economy are three important aspects.
In our research, we want to explore the refugee issue in depth, as well as analyze and discuss the different aspects of the issue. We aim to explore or look into the topic through the philosophical perspective of post-structuralism and sociology. Our research also aims to raise awareness and understanding of refugee issue in Malaysia and globally.
As a group, we took to research some key areas of the refugee experience by reading through various sources, including resources from the United Nations and UNHCR. The key areas we researched include the relationship between refugees and crime, refugee human trafficking, access to education among refugee children, and refugee women's safety.
As we one striking revelation in our exploration is the profound influence of socio-economic factors on refugee crime rates. We have witnessed firsthand how disparities in education, employment opportunities, and income level within refugee communities match with varying levels of criminal involvement. It becomes evident that addressing these socio-economic inequalities is paramount in mitigating refugee crime rates and fostering inclusive societies where all individuals can thrive. Another significant aspect that has emerged from our research is the profound impact of trauma and mental health on refugee crime rates. Delving into the prevalence of trauma-related disorders such as PTSD and depression among refugee population, we have uncovered a complex interplay between untreated mental health issue and criminal behavior. It is clear that providing support and mental health is imperative in addressing the root causes of criminality within refugee communities and facilitating their integration into society.
There are also some misconception and prejudice toward refugees surrounding the topic of crime rates, with many believing that refugees are always a source of crime or security risk, and ignoring that many refugees are hardworking or law-abiding and are not trying to cause disruption.
Over 26 million refugees worldwide, with many under 18, flee conflict, persecution, and violence. Refugee children are highly vulnerable to exploitation, including human trafficking, with 1 in 4 victims of modern slavery being children, as per the ILO. Human trafficking refers to the movement of persons through some form of coercion or deception to exploit them for some gain, often through labor or sex work. Victims, including men, women, and children, are abducted or manipulated and often made to pay off fictitious debts to traffickers. Refugees fleeing conflict or disasters often lack resources and support, making them vulnerable to trafficking.
In Malaysia, over 100,000 victims of modern slavery are reported, including a significant number of refugees and migrants. Human trafficking inflicts lasting harm on refugee children, causing psychological and physical trauma, including sexual abuse and manipulation by authority figures. Combating human trafficking among refugee children demands a multifaceted strategy, including prevention, protection, prosecution, and community collaboration. Human trafficking among refugee children is a terrible violation of their rights, urging immediate and collaborative action from all
And there's the importance of schooling for kids who are refugees. In the midst of upheaval, schooling gives refugee children a sense of routine and stability. It provides a way for them to overcome obstacles and realize their full potential in a brighter future. However, the benefit of education for children of refugees transcend individual benefit. Additionally, it is necessary for the long-term prosperity and stability of civilizations and communities. Even nevertheless, there are still many obstacles that refugee children must overcome in order to receive a high-quality education. They frequently don't have access to resources for education, qualified teachers, or schools. Additionally, they could experience prejudice and stigma in their new surroundings, which makes it harder for them to develop and learn. Lastly, let us not forget that access to education is a basic human right rather than a privilege. This part about women's safety among vulnerable groups of refugees. Seriously, security risks such as early marriage, domestic abuse, sexual assaults, and human trafficking come from women seeking safety. Women encounter several challenges in refugee camps and settlements, such as poor medical care, loss of privacy, unsafe housing, and absence of safety precautions. Many women have no resources or support system and constantly worry about their safety and well-being. Not only it is moral right to protect women in refugee circumstances, but it is also a human right issue that has to be addressed immediately. In order to address the underlying cause of gender-based violence and make the environment safer and more encouraging for women and girls, we must collaborate.
We conducted a survey to get an understanding of perspectives on the experiences of refugees worldwide. Our target group was Taylor students and also our family and friends who are members of the general public in Malaysia. We asked how strongly the respondents believed in statements that posed that refugees should experience safety and deserve education, and the majority of respondents agreed strongly or had a more neutral stance. On a statement that posed refugees in a negative light with regards to crime, the majority voted on a more neutral stance. After watching some of our video recommendations, many respondents felt that they had more empathy for refugees. These responses can reveal how there is empathy and understanding towards refugees, and at the same time, there is also some uncertainty surrounding the extent to which we support or provide access to necessities to refugees, how to balance the various factors involved when supporting refugees, or about the issues itself, meaning a lack of awareness.
Our investigation and research analysis, we come to the following conclusion. In order to change the current refugee problem, first of all, we need refugees to have enough voices to speak up their plight, because they must be the ones who understand their plight best, which involve a philosophical theory, post-structuralism, proposed by Foucault. This theory is a trend of thought and academic theory that reflects and criticizes structuralism. It focuses on the complexity and diversity of text, language, meaning, and subject that structuralism ignores or marginalizes. The refugee problem is the expression and influence of power. Foucault believed that power is a not single, centralized, and possessive thing, but a pluralistic, decentralized, and omnipresent relationship that produces and regulates through knowledge and subject through discourse, institution, practices, and technologies. The refugee issue is a product of power caused by global political, economics, cultural, and military inequalities and conflicts. And it is also a tool of power which can be used as a humanitarian cover, a threat to national security, a challenge to social integration, to influence and manipulate public consciousness and behavior. To sum up, if we want to truly solve the current plight of refugees, then we need them as refugees to really get education, have independent consciousness and power, and can truly get out of current plight.
From a sociological perspective, the refugee problem can be understood as a manifestation of broader social structures and inequalities. Societal factors such as economic disparities, political instability, and discriminatory practices contribute significantly to the creation and perpetuation of refugee crises. Sociological analysis also encourages us to explore how institutions such as governments, international organizations, and grassroots movements shape public discourse, influence policies, and impact the lives of refugees. Examining these social dimensions allows us to unveil the structural elements that either exacerbate or alleviate the refugee crisis.
The refugee crisis demands a holistic approach that balances compassion, cooperation, and practical solution. It is imperative to uphold the human right of refugees, ensuring they receive the protection and support they deserve.
In line with the philosophy of Sejahtera, it is crucial to keep in mind the importance of living sustainably, embracing values, and enhancing human behavior when approaching this issue.
Addressing the root causes of displacement is crucial. By prompting peace, economic development, and environmental sustainability, we can mitigate the factors that force people to flee their homes. International cooperation is essential, as no single country can handle the influx of refugees. Addressing education plays an important role in empowering refugees and fostering social cohesion. Prompting empathy, tolerance, and cultural exchange can create a more inclusive society where refugees are welcome and valued. By upholding refugee rights, addressing root causes, fostering cooperation, investing in education, and combating xenophobia, we can create a world where refugees can rebuild their life and contribute positively to their communities. This approach transfers the refugee crisis from a story of despair into one of resilience, hope, and opportunity.